Very wild times. The government of New Zealand just announced their new multi-million-dollar policy initiative, helping teenagers get over breakups. Let's watch a video from the program titled Love Better.
Breakups suck. But you can channel it for good. From Love Better and Vice. Own the feels. It's a community of the freshly broken up, helping the freshly broken up to keep a little hurt from becoming a lot of hurt. Kinda like this.
Okay, so I'm doing it. I'm officially deleting my ex from all my socials. I'm moving on.
I'm gonna have to do it, honestly. This is getting ridiculous. This is getting so out of hand. I need to sleep at night. I need to get over her, get over this hurdle. Just delete it. Unblock.
He meant block, by the way, not unblock. He corrected that in the full video. The government of New Zealand has allocated $4 million to be spent on the program over 3 years. If you're wondering why they're so concerned about this issue, Priyanca Radhakrishnan, Associate Minister for Social Development and Employment, said 1,200 young New Zealanders surveyed told the government they need support to deal with early experiences of love and hurt, with breakups being deemed a common challenge. 68% of those surveyed said that breakups led them to face consequences like depression, risky sexual behaviors, violence, jealousy, and stalking, according to Mashable. Most young people, 55%, are not confident or only somewhat confident they could end a relationship without harm, according to Government Research Commission in 2022. While most of the hurt reported was emotional, 1 in 6 young people had faced physical arguments in their relationships. Love Better is an attempt to solve an old problem in New Zealand. New Zealand has one of the highest rates of sexual and domestic violence in the developed world, with police responding to a family violence incident every 4 minutes. Family violence is estimated to cost the country between $2.5 billion and $4.4 billion a year, according to The Guardian. This approach hasn't been trialed by any government around the world. New Zealand has shameful statistics of family and sexual violence, and we need innovative approaches to break the cycle, according to Priyanca Radhakrishnan, the Associate Minister for Social Development and Employment.
Okay, I think that a lot of people might look at this and go, well, I mean, that's absurd, a government program to help you with breakups. And it's got a funny name, Own the Feels. Okay, it's a nice effort.
It's good.
Yeah, I get it. So no, I like the program. First of all, it's like a tiny cost. It's like no big deal on cost. So already, sure, why not give it a shot? And 68% are having those problems. That's a big number, right? And so it just feels funny for us Americans because it's the government trying to actually help people. Like, we're totally unfamiliar with that here. So,
well, it's also because New Zealand has the room to focus on it because they have better priorities already in their programs. They have a universal health care package available to all residents. They have the best anti-corruption ranking in the world, along with Denmark and Finland, according to 2021 Corruption Perceptions Index. 3 weeks paid leave minimum, plus 5 days of paid special leave for sickness and bereavements, bans on machine guns and assault rifles. They have historically in New Zealand suffered from issues of wealth inequality, but certainly not as bad as here in the good old US of A.
Yeah. And Ben, you made a really good point earlier in the show about
Go on.
About the number of kids in this country, girls in particular. We've done that study and how much a shocking amount of depression, and so there's a lot of different factors for it. But I always thought that the government should spend money on trying to address these much bigger problems. I mean, like, guys, look, we talk about the distractions all the time. But in terms of the size of a problem, a kid accidentally seeing a drag show happens like 0.01% of the time, whereas like 70% of girls in America are depressed. Which one's the bigger problem?
60, but yes.
It was around 60, yeah. I mean, it's a giant iceberg of a problem. I wish our government would address that. And so this is New Zealand doing some version of that. And so great, awesome, and it might help people. So God bless, I like it. What do you think, Rick?
Oh, I love it. It's funny, like Cenk started out his rant with like, essentially, this is what it looks like when a government cares about you. And like, if you think about it, we've all dealt with our breakups, and every time it's pretty rough. Like, let's be very honest about this. You're still developing physically, mentally, emotionally. I can tell you through those times, and we all have like different things that happen. It's the trials and tribulations of life. But like at some point you have a little fatigue, like talking to your best friend or talking to your mom or your dad or a sibling. And those, a majority of the time, are not people who are professionals in their fields of psychology or how to deal with those certain things. They can only give you a pep talk so many times. To see the funding, taxpayer funding going into mental health is really eye-opening to me. Because as we know from the Reagan administration, it has gotten worse and worse and worse of closing facilities left and right in the United States that I pretty much cannot fathom seeing this happen. Like, I know that we could have school resource counselors and we could have different services here and there, but nothing to this level where the American government will show that they really care about you. Like, I know Cenk said it and Ben said it and we've covered it many times, but like, the priorities are not to end school shootings or aid mental health services, it's to ban TikTok. Like, see how quickly that gets passed or potentially gets passed. We have hearings on it already in comparison to things that would actually benefit people in this country.
Well, no, actually, breaking news coming in right now on Twitter. Republicans just put forward a mental health to help people with breakups here in America called "Suck It Up, You Whiny Bitch."
No,
that's
yes.
the name of the program.
Yes,
you know they're a little harsh. I didn't think of it that way. It doesn't seem too family friendly. But
no, it's a great point that Rick makes, because I mean, breakups are very, very hard emotionally on adults, on grown men. I went through one recently, and it's still hard. It was 5 months ago. It's a very, very hardest thing I've ever been through my whole life, and so to expect teens to be able to process that and handle that in a healthy way, and not, God forbid, have their life take a direction that is not healthy, not beneficial, not only to themselves and their families, but to society as a whole. The government should put a lot more than $4 million into it. It's a great start.
Yeah, and by the way, just because the government does something doesn't mean that you don't have to help. Like, it doesn't mean like, okay, this is in lieu of family, this is in lieu of a therapist or whatever. No, it could be on top, right? So it's okay. You're not, they don't go around going, no, don't talk to your friends.
Right,
Okay.
And it's just nice to know that this is a systemic, that's a human problem. When your friends or family give you advice, they're like, of course they will, because they care about you individually. But it's nice to know, it must feel very good for kids in New Zealand now going through a breakup, being like, wow, the government acknowledges this happens to everybody. This is a wide enough, common enough situation that we need to help if we can.
Yeah, that's a really good point, and there's something validating about that. And then the last thing is connecting to a story we did earlier in the show. There's in Idaho, somebody proposed, hey, look, 23% of people are too poor to afford tampons for kids that are going to school, right? They passed puberty, obviously, so they're menstruating, and so can we? It's a tiny cost, and even the Republicans acknowledge tiny cost. Cost is not the issue. Can we put them in the schools for the girls who can't afford it at home, right? And they called it a woke policy, and basically said, let them bleed. Okay, that's the American government. That's Idaho in particular, but that's pretty representative of what we go through here in America. Like, we will not help you, even if you're a child bleeding in school, right? let alone the fact that we allow the assault weapons that murder the kids in school and lead to other bleedings. We're not gonna help you with any of that. People want federal background checks that are over 90%, not gonna give it to you. They want paid family leave, so when you have a baby, you can go home for a couple of weeks. No, 84% want it, not gonna get it. So that's why when we see something simple like this in New Zealand, where the government goes, hey, why don't we try to help people going through a tough time in their lives? We're genuinely shocked in America that a government would actually try to help its citizens.
But in America's defense, at least that is why we refuse to do anything to stop school shootings. Is they kind of want the extra blood in the hallways to kind of cover up the spilling period blood, and that's the way to do it non-woke in America. So there's two approaches.
Well, yeah, again, Ben, good point. It's at least not woke. Thanks for watching the Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.